Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to another exciting episode. I haven't been able to wake up yet. Um, so, like, I am just not being informed that there are comments on my videos. So, I just found one video that had like 5 or 6 comments on it. I'm like, come on, YouTube. And there's a little Maggie lady down here. I know, Maggie. I know. This is Maggie. Say hi, everybody. There you go. She's mad. Anyway, so the video that I'm referring to is a video about Okinawa. So I'm like, okay, well, let's see. What's some other stories I can tell you about that island? I mean, I lived there for 5 years. It's not like I don't have stories. um, um, my dad had built me a playhouse, and I guess he probably made it out of plywood. I don't really remember, but I remember the door once I got my finger jammed in the door. Probably did that quite a few times, but um, as I got older, he donated it to the nursery school that I went to, Machinado Nursery School. Uh, I believe the proper pronunciation is Machinado, but or at least I think that's closer. Anyway, let's see if I can let me find it. I might not even be able to find it anymore. I don't know if you can see it. Doubt you can see it. There's a scar. I don't think you can see it. Anyway, there's a scar. I always called it a longhorn scar because it looks like a longhorn steer's head because it was like one horn is like really, really long and the other is just long. And anyway, how did I get that? Okay, this is before we lived on base. There's and this will get into monkey blood as well. For those who remember monkey blood, remember monkey blood. Um, there was a road from our neighborhood. It wasn't the street we lived on. I think it was the next street over, next street like to the east. I think to the east of us. Um, because it would have been yeah, 'cause it would have been to the east of us. It went like way, it was like a really long road, and it went or street, and it went down into an Okinawan neighborhood, and we weren't supposed to go way down in there into that neighborhood, but we were kids. You think that we obeyed the rules? Uh, and anyway, at the corner there's this house, and in the backyard there was a retaining wall that went up to where the street was. And me and some of my friends were teasing these 2 kids. I think they were 2 boys that lived in that house. We thought, from what I can recall, we thought they were rich, and we were like, well, we're better than you. Just because you're rich doesn't mean anything. We're better than you, something like that. Doesn't mean they were actually rich. I doubt they were. But we were throwing bamboo at them, and they were throwing bamboo back at us. And I got hit in the hand with a piece of bamboo, right, right here.
Ouch.
Yeah, and oh boy, did it bleed. Of course, you're that young, and there's blood. You're like, I'm gonna die. I'm bleeding to death. And so we try to find parents. It's like nobody's parents were home. I mean, Nada, zilch, nothing. Nobody was home. And so we're finally we find somebody whose mother was home, and she got the bottle of monkey blood out. I forget what it's actually called, but it came in a little glass bottle. Mercurochrome. There you go, mercurochrome. And you take it out and you dab it on there, and oh, it burns. Yeah. You blow on it, and I remember that. And there was this Japanese businessman who had bought some land in the neighborhood uh, down the hill from us, but going to the west, and he was building this mansion. I mean, my goodness, you just didn't see houses like that on Okinawa. Not then, anyway. Um, Now, I was watching two videos. They were really quick videos, but overlays of Mashirado then and today. And I'm like, oh my, it definitely has changed. I mean, it's changed in a big way. Um, I mean, what stories do you want? I mean, I can tell you everything from, the Okinawan toilets, like at the, oh, our neighbor tends to be loud. Um, there's a service station, and, my dad pulls into the service station, and there's a toilet. Well, it's about that tall. It's porcelain, and it's basically a big hole in the ground. Um, I remember me and Cindy Duncan. You had big drains, because we would have a lot of rain, so you needed major drain, a way to drain, and we would get into like the sewer area and we'd eat paste. Well, we that was on base, but then off base, we would we would crawl through the drain pipes, and kids would inevitably get stuck. That's why I stopped, because I saw too many kids who wound up getting stuck in there, and then it was a big what to do to get them out. The Pepsi truck, we used to steal, or Pepsi or Coke or whatever it was. It may have been the Okinawan brand of soda water. They were open sides back then, and they were angled like so, and they would sit the wooden crates in there, and we would go in and would grab the sodas out of there, or would grab a whole crate or case or whatever they were called, and uh, Suicide Cliff. I always liked going there. There was this amusement park. I don't know if it was actually active. I don't ever remember going there when it was open. It was there, but either we went there when it was closed, or, well, I know why we were going there. It, my dad's, whatever it was that he was into, we went and met somebody, and an envelope was handed off, and they left and we left. The submarine. It was that kind of incident on the submarine. But I never went to that amusement park when it was actually open, so I don't know if it was open. I mean, I don't know if it was simply closed at the time we went there, or if it just wasn't open anymore, but everything was still there. And where on the island, I don't know. There was a cave. Uh, this is going northeast of Naha. It was like the Buddhist had a little altar in there, and they would lock it up because I tried to open it up after they left. And they had stalactites and stalagmites. One grows going up, one grows going down. And there was this one where it went like that. It was like half an oval. It was just curved like that. And I wanted to crawl through there, but of course my dad wouldn't let me. Um, there was White Beach. I think there was Black Beach. These were beaches at during the war. They were there was the code names for the beaches, so the Japanese wouldn't know what beaches were going to be landed on. And there was a fishing boat up on a reef, and to me that that was a pirate ship. Daddy, look, there's a pirate ship. Can we go swim out to the pirate ship? And of course, no, we couldn't do that. It wasn't a pirate ship. It was a fishing boat. But I insisted that it was a pirate ship. Should tell you how young I was. There was a toy store. I've talked about the toy store across the street from the base, but before we lived on base, you're going on Highway 1, what used to be Highway 1. You're going north out of Naha. You go just past Machinato housing area, and there's a street on your right going uphill. And on the right side of that street, as you're going up, there was a toy store. And I until the fire, I still had it. It was like a little plastic wall. It looked like a brick wall with a hole in it for G.I. Joe. It was G.I. Joe stuff. I love G.I. Joes. And my mother even took one of my dad's uniforms back in the days when they wore the old green uniforms and cut it down so it would fit me, and it had my family's last name on it and everything. But I was in a play. It was an Easter, no, it was Christmas. It was a Christmas play, and I still have the costume. My mother sewed it for me. Still have it. But I remember at Machinato Elementary School, we would have like a little carnival every year, and there was like a cakewalk, and there was another thing where like you could give them a ticket, put your hand into this box, and you could pull out one thing, and you got that. That was yours. And I got like we were like into um oh, how do you say, Speed Racer and Godzilla and Ultraman. I wanted an Ultraman doll, but Ultraman dolls, they were really tall because it was Ultraman. And he'd take that thing off his belt, hold it up in the air, spin around, and becomes a giant. Ultraman. And I remember the military would have on the news, they would track Santa Claus every Christmas. And I remember we would go to this one playground, and there was a little TV station or something there, and I was like, wow, that's where they track Santa Claus. And A&W Drive-In with a frosty mug of root beer. I'm drinking beer like my dad. So, but anyway, I guess that's all for now.